And good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 5 of Henley Hornets football. This week, Henley Hornets kick off Skyline Conference play, and the real season finally begins. Henley is 4-0 entering tonight's matchup, and after a gritty win last week against LaPine, a game in which Henley won 16-12, they plan for more gritty football tonight against the Mazama Vikings. It's the Southside series between the Hornets and the Vikes. Henley holds the old-time series edge with a 16-13 record against Mazama, but the Vikings have won 7 of the past 8 meetings and the last 7 Skyline Conference titles. Tonight we begin the road to a conference championship, and we are here live tonight on the campus of Henley High School at Hill O'Brien Field. We are looking north toward Hogback Mountain. It's a beautiful night for football. There's no smoke obstructing our view, a beautiful view this evening. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined tonight by Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight on mybasin.com. Kevin, it is a beautiful night for football. We're 15 minutes away from kickoff. The fans are already packed in. There's excitement in the air, and this is going to be a fun one.
These are the ones that you look forward to, the in-city rivalry, and we just happen to have a couple of teams with featuring some of the best players in the state. We have some of the top running backs, some of the top quarterbacks, good defensive players, and of course this game means a lot as far as the Skyline is concerned. So one thing you won't have to worry about coaching tonight is motivation. In this game, the players will be focused. They know how much it means, and I think we're in for a good game.
Henley last week, like I said, that 16-12 win against LaPine. They looked good in the first half, had that passing game going. They transitioned to the running game in the second half. Both of these teams like to run the football tonight. We're going to see some teams chew clock, but these teams going to look fairly similar tonight. I think Mazama is going to try to force Henley to throw the football.
Yeah, I think Henley probably a little bit better known for their balance. Mazama likes to run the football. We know that, and they do that very successfully. So that's probably what we'll see from the offenses. And the defenses, they're going to have to cook up some plans to stop each other, and that will be interesting to see exactly what they do tonight.
Well, it is the Southside Series. The Mazama Vikings on the road in this one. They come to Henley High School, and it should be a great one tonight. You've got live HD video on mybasin.com. If you're listening on the radio, 104.3 960 Sports, be sure you check out the live stream. It is free, available for you to view. Should be a lot of fun this evening. The Southside Series is coming up, but first we're going to talk to head coach Alex Stork of the Henley Hornets and take a look at the Skyline Conference standings as the preseason is done tonight. Starts league play, and it all starts tonight. Henley and Mazama is next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
Come on! The Coach's Corner with head coach Alex Stork is brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Welcome back to mybasin.com Game of the Week. We're getting ready for the Southside Series between Henley and Mazama, joined now by Henley head coach Alex Stork. How are you?
Doing well, thanks, Josh.
So I want to talk about last week first. What do you like about your team's performance last week? It was a close, gritty win against LaPine. What'd you like?
I thought in the end of the game we played some real complementary football. Defense got some big stops when we needed to, and offense was able to run out the clock there into the end of the game, not turn the ball over. So I was pretty pleased with how we ended the game. Just want to be more consistent throughout the 4 quarters on Friday.
It seems like in the first half you guys had a lot of the passing game working. In the second half, that kind of went away. You transitioned more to the running game. Was that a conscious choice you made at halftime, or was that sort of an adjustment you make in the third quarter?
I think it was a bit of an adjustment. We were definitely running the ball pretty well on them, and they were taking away a lot of what we liked in the passing game from our scouting report. So I thought they had a really good game plan for us defensively, and we were more run heavy in the second half. Part of the reason was because we wanted to chew clock, but a big part of the reason is because they had a really strong defensive game plan against our pass.
Transition now to talking about Mazama. Obviously, LaPine had a pretty decent running game against you guys. Mazama's going to do a lot of the same things. What'd you address this week in practice to try to shore up that run defense?
Just being disciplined, doing your job, protecting your gap, trusting the guys around you to do their job. LaPine was really physical, and up front they had some guys that pushed us back a few times, and guys were trying to get out of their lanes and get out of their gap assignments and do other people's jobs. So this week's just about being disciplined and doing their job and trusting their teammates to do theirs.
There's a lot of hype around this game, and I'm no better. I've created hype around this game. What have you been able to do to try to keep your kids focused this week?
It's just been treating it like another game, which is easy to say, harder to do. I think the captains and leaders of the group have done a really good job. This is a game where you have to bring the guys down and get them more level and more grounded before the game because it is such an emotional game. So I'm not trying to diminish how emotional a game it is and how well they know these guys. I'm trying to bring them up to that occasion, but at the same time just treating it like any other week.
So you got Mazama this week, big game. What do you expect to see from the Vikings?
Always disciplined. They like to run the ball. They like to stop the run. So we're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to be disciplined. And we're going to have to make plays.
All right. Thank you very much.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Star Spangled Banner performed by the Henley Choir, taught by Henley football coach Christopher Benjamin. Means that we are nearing football this evening. It's the Southside Series and a lot on the line tonight. Kevin, it's a big game to kick off Skyline Conference play.
Yes, and we know what's on the line, but this is one of those interesting games. That what makes it fun is that there's so many variables involved. You know, the kids are going to be extremely hyped to start the game, and the quicker that they can settle into their game plan, I think, will be an advantage. I think Henley really wants to score first tonight. I think to come out strong after having maybe a lackluster second half last week at Lapine. I think they'd really benefit from coming out strong. And of course, Mazama wants to show you right away that they can score the football on the ground. So that's probably what we'll see early from these teams as we get started.
You can see the captains there meeting at midfield, and if you're watching the HD video stream, you can see them. Once again, if you're listening on the radio, be sure to find us online at mybasin.com. The captains for Henley tonight, number 1 is senior Colton Smith. Number 28, Colby Scholes, a senior. Number 34, another senior, Garrett Northcutt. And then finally, the running back, senior 5'9", 180 pounds, Tolson Higgins. The captains out there for the Mazama Vikings. Number 1, the quarterback, sophomore Tyson Van Gastel. You've also got number 55, a senior linebacker, Daniel Yancey. And number 71, Nate Tramp out there for the Mazama Vikings. I'm missing one of them, but meeting at midfield right now. And very excited for this matchup as Henley comes into tonight atop the Skyline Conference. They are 4-0. Mazama is 2-2, but tonight the first league conference battle between the Henley Hornets and the Mazama Vikings. The Southside Series is next on 104.3 and 960 Sport.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
And welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley won the coin toss. They defer. Mazama will receive to start things off this evening. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined by Kevin Petrick tonight. My good friend Nick Bradford running the live stream on MyBasin.com this evening. Appreciate you being with us wherever you are and wherever you are listening. It's going to be a great night of football. Some things of note tonight for the Mazama Vikings who start on offense first. Kevin there. Lead running back Zeke Heaton. He's second in the state in rushing, 635 yards. He is in jeans on the sideline. So Mazama going to have to find a way to fill that hole on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, that could be, definitely will be a big loss for Mazama, both on offense and defense. So we'll see how they respond to that for sure, yeah.
Henley tonight wearing their varsity blacks. They've got that navy blue helmet, normal Henley helmet with the H on the side, the black jerseys and pants with the yellow stripe down the side of those pants and yellow trim around the numbers. Mazama tonight, white helmet with blue stripes and a white jersey, blue numbering and trim on it with blue pants and a white stripe down the side. We're ready for football tonight, 12 minutes on the clock. The Hornets kicking off. They are defending the west goal. Mazama back to receive for the Vikings. Number 10, Brody Hubble, and a flag down before the kick is off. It's thrown from the far sideline, and we're off to a slow start this evening at Henley High School.
Henley a little bit anxious to get this game going. Offsides on the kickoff. So we'll move it back 5 and try it again.
Well, of all the penalties that you can live with, I'm sure that's one if you're Coach Stork. That's just excitement.
It is, and we talked about that too. The team that can kind of settle down and get into their game plan will have a definite advantage here early.
So the teams are sent once more, although this time Henley kicking off from the 35 instead of the 40. To do the kicking is Owen Sheen, and as stated, back to receive for the Mazama Vikings, it is Brody Hubble, a junior, 5'10", 185 pounds. and we are ready for football tonight from Hill O'Brien Field. The kick is up, and it is going to be fielded at the 10-yard line by Hubble. He brings it up past the 20, now to the 25. Tries to get around a couple of defenders, but is brought down at the 31-yard line. And that is where Mazama will start their first drive of the ball game.
Colby Brennan making the stop for the Hornets.
Trotting out onto the field, the quarterback, Tyson Van Gassel, a sophomore, 6'3", 190 pounds. He is leading the Vikings. This is his first season at the helm. He's got a running back out, Zeke Heaton, but ready to step up right in his spot is a junior back, 5'10", number 2, Trevor Anderson is going to be out there, along with number 9, Aiden Kint, number 10, Brody Hubble, number 14, Brandon Gailey, and we'll get you the line after this. 1st and 10 for the Vikings, and it's a handoff to the far side. Gailey takes it. He cuts up the middle and is tough to bring down. He gets up past the 40, maybe the 42, an 11-yard gain for the Vikings, and that'll be a first down courtesy of Brandon Gailey.
Colton Smith, first one in on the tackle there, and that's one thing you don't want to see. You don't want to see the defensive backs making tackles because that means that the running backs have made their way through the line and down the field. Mazama gets a quick first down.
The line for the Vikings is going to be Yancey, Adminata, Morin, Tramp, and Pena. Another handoff, this time to the near side, and it's carried by Anderson, who is hit after a gain of 3. That'll bring up second down for the Vikes.
Nice play by Tolson Higgins, keeping that gain short. Mazama going with, they have 3 backs in the backfield, so they will have a lead blocker or 2, along with that quite capable offensive line for that tailback.
You're likely going to see Brandon Gailey, number 14 for the Mazama Vikings, as their lead blocker out of the backfield. That's what he's known for. In fact, got a leading block last week in their 21-20 win over Eagle Point. They got him the last touchdown. 2nd and 7, it's a pitch to Gailey on the far side. A couple Hornets in the backfield, but Gailey cuts upfield for a gain of about 6 on the play. There is a flag down at about the 40, and it'll be holding against the Vikings. This one coming back as signaled by our white cap tonight, Darren Rutledge.
Austin Fitz with a nice play there, getting up the field quickly, and he would have made the tackle if not for a hold.
And there you see the white cap this evening, Darren Rutledge and his crew also out there on the field. Rob Sellers, Steve Newman, Eric Thompson, and Miles Maxey. That one going back. 2nd and long for the Vikings. It'll be about 2nd and 19 coming up. The yard to gain is the 49 on the other side of midfield. Mazama taking it from the 29. 3 backs into the backfield. Van Gatsel under center. This one handed off to Anderson on the far side. He's wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. Tackle for a loss. 3rd down and a mile coming up from Mazama.
Nice work by Owen Northcutt, leading the charge on that tackle. Henley showing a 4-man front on defense. And those ends, Austin Fitz and Owen Northcutt, will have their hands full, as will the interior line as well for the Hornets. Good defense there.
10:09 to go in the first, a scoreless ball game. Mazama in a little bit of trouble in their first drive of the ball game. It is 3rd down coming up. 3rd and about 17 for the Vikings. A couple wide receivers set out to either side. We'll see if they force Van Gastel to throw. And Gastel under center. He drops back into the pocket, tries to complete it to the near side, and the pass is dropped. Intended target for Mazama. I believe that was Kent. No, pardon me, that was Tyler Aguiar. Incompletion, that brings up 4th for the Vikings.
Owen Sheen on the coverage, and even if that pass had been completed, it would have been about 10 yards short of the first down. So a terrific defensive stand by the Hornets on this opening drive.
Henley an opportunity to get the ball back with 9:41 to go in the first quarter, still a scoreless ball game. Back to receive for Henley so far has been Tyler Harper this season. The punt is up. Fielded at about the 30, brought up to the 35, and a quick hit. There's a loose ball, and Mazama seems to think they recovered the football. And they did. Mazama recovers at the 35, and it functions basically as a long pass downfield. Mazama going to keep the drive going. They're going to take over at the 38-yard line. Tough break for the Hornets.
That's an unfortunate mistake for Henley, but I'm sure both teams will have their share of mistakes. So the Hornets defense here needs to make some plays, get the football back.
1st and 10 for Mazama from the Henley 38. Driving downfield toward the west goal. A handoff inside and wrapped up quickly. Maybe a gain of 2 on the play for the Vikings.
Austin Fitz at the bottom of the pile on that one. And Henley with a nice surge up front, only giving up a yard or 2 on that first down.
And it looks like that might be Zeke Heaton checking into the game. He was in jeans sidelines before the game, but he's out there right now looking to get a couple snaps. 2nd and 8 for Mazama. This one, a play action pass, intended target downfield, incomplete to Savion Burke. Van Gastel threw it just over his head on the play action pass, brings up 3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
That was nice coverage by the defensive backs of the Hornets. Luke Bennett out there, also Colton Smith on the far side.
Mazama so far tonight 0 for 1 on 3rd down conversions. They failed earlier this drive, but recovered a fumble on the ensuing punt. Now get another chance on 3rd down here. 3rd and 8. Vikings driving. Van Gastel takes the snap, another play action pass. He's feeling pressure, throws it over the middle of the field, and it's cut. Brody Hubble takes it all the way in for a Mazama touchdown.
That was a nice route by Hubble. He found the seam right down the center of the field. He split the coverage, and that throw was right on the money. And Mazama gets their first touchdown.
From 38 yards out, Brody Hubble with the touchdown catch. Extra point coming up. Mazama to do the kicking is number 22, Trace Horton. The kick is up, and it is good. Mazama takes an early 7-0 lead with 8:36 to go in the first quarter. Henley gets their own chance coming up next. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. TCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The Southside Series. We're about 4 minutes into the first quarter of play. Mazama leads 7-0. They went 69 yards in 7 plays. They capped it off with a 38-yard connection between Brody Hubble and Tyson Van Gastel. That's how they get their lead of 7-0. And Kevin, Mazama doing it through the air a little bit on that drive.
Yeah, you want to get teams into 3rd and long if you can, but Mazama did a nice job. He drew up a nice play and got the long score. So Henley needs to have no memory. This is where you just forget about what's happened. You get the ball and try to move it downfield.
The kick is up. It'll be fielded at about the 15, brought out past the 20, and another quick hit before reaching the 25. Henley will start their first drive of the ball game at their own 24-yard line.
Colton Smith with a nice little run back. And we'll see what Henley has up their sleeve here for their first offensive possession.
Striding out onto the field, the junior quarterback Shaw Stork, 3rd in the state in passing yards, 549. He's completed 54% of his passes, 8 touchdowns on the season. Shaw Stork looking for a big game this evening. He's out there with number 1, Colton Smith, number 10, Owen Sheen, number 17, Austin Fitz, number 28, Colby Scholes will get you the starting line after this. 1st and 10 play, an empty backfield for Henley. It's just Shaw Stork. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Stork sends a man in motion. That's Higgins. This one, a designed run for Stork, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. No, pardon me, that was a handoff to Higgins. Gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage, could have lost a yard as well. It'll be 2nd and long coming up for Henley. It was a direct snap, it looked like, to Tolson.
Yeah, a swarm of Vikings in on that tackle.
8:08 and counting. The Mazama Vikings lead 7-0 over the Henley Hornets. Second and about 12 coming up for Henley. Colton Smith to the near side out there with Austin Fitz and Owen Sheen. Again in the backfield by himself is Shaw Stork. Second and 12. Stork takes a snap, drops back to pass, throws it over the middle. It's caught by Owen Sheen. He's brought down at the 40, and a 14-yard completion for Henley. Nets them their first down of the game.
Nicely done. Owen just did a quick slant right across the middle, and he got a step on his defender, and Shaw with a nice throw for a first down.
1st and 10 from the Henley 40-yard line as they drive from left to right across your screen and from west to east as we look north from Hill O'Brien Field tonight on the campus of Henley High School. No smoke obstructing the view. You can see Hogback Mountain clearly. It's a beautiful night for football. 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 40. Shaw Stork in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to his right, 1 to the left. Sends a man in motion. That's Higgins again. It's a sweep. Higgins trying to take it to the near side and breaks out the stiff arm. Is wrapped up, a loss of about 3 yards on the play. Higgins was being chased from the beginning. It'll bring up 2nd down for Henley.
Brendan Monteith for the Vikings on the stop there. Did a nice job of getting in the backfield and catching up with Tulsa.
2nd down and long coming up for Henley. Last time faced with this situation, it was a toss over the middle to Owen Sheen, which netted him about 13 yards. Looking for a similar play here. Colton Smith lining up to the far side. That'll be off to Shaw Stork's left, and Tolson Higgins to the right. Owen Sheen also to the left side of Stork, who's by himself in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. That's Higgins, is now right off the side of Stork. A design keeper for Stork. Tries to take his blockers and cut up field. He's wrapped up after a gain of 3 on the play. Still just short of the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 11 coming up for Henley.
Looks like both teams here early going, they're kind of daring each other to pass. They have a lot of players up forward toward the line defensively, and they're trying to stop that run.
Well, both of these teams love to run the football. I mean, Henley has the 4th best rusher in the state, Shaw Stork. They've also got the 6th best rusher in the state in Higgins. And Mazama has got Zeke Heaton, which if he gets playing time tonight, he's a little banged up. He's the 2nd leading rusher in the state. So a lot of running the football between these two teams. 3rd and 11. Colby Scholes to the near side. Austin Fitz, Owen Sheen, and Colton Smith lined up to the far side for Shaw Stork. He takes it from the near hash. 5:19 and counting to go in the first quarter, and a flag is thrown. This one coming back against the Hornets.
Delay of game, and that's one you don't want to have. That's a mistake you can fix. Just got to get that play in a little sooner and get the ball snapped. It'll be 3rd and about 15 now.
3rd and 15, same formation for the Hornets. This is their first time facing 3rd down tonight. Shaw Stork drops back, unleashes one down the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended target looked to be Owen Sheen, but the ball falls gracefully to the grass here at Henley High School and brings up 4th down.
Yeah, Mazama did a nice job in coverage there. There was really no chance. Shaw just kind of threw it away over the head of his receiver, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation.
Checking into the game for Henley, number 55, Aiden Heslin, part of the special teams unit for the Hornets. It's snapped. The kick is up, a bit of a line drive, bounces out to the 30, gets inside the 10, and that's going to roll inside the 10, picked up by Henley at the 9. About a 61-yard punt for Henley, and that is pretty amazing.
That's a nice kick by Owen. It was kind of a line drive, end-over-end kick. He was getting a little pressure. He had to hurry his kick, but he kicked it so hard with so much momentum with the end-over-end spin, it just kept rolling, and he put it inside the 10.
It's great field position against a Mazama team that likes to run the football. You can keep them pinned back here. If you're Henley, there's a lot of moving parts. Try to get yourself some good field position for offense, so a lot hinges on this early defensive possession for the Hornets. First and 10 from the Mazama 9 as they drive from right to left across your screen. As it is an inside handoff. Anderson took it up for a gain of about 7, brings up second down for Mazama.
That's about a 7-yard gain, and that's a few yards too many if you're Henley defense. You want to try to contain them a little better.
Offensive line for Mazama, putting in some good work early. 2nd and 3 for the Vikings. Van Gastel under center. Another handoff, this time on the inside, also to Anderson. He's wrapped up and brought backwards, although giving him a little bit of forward momentum. They might give Mazama the first down, and they do.
Owen Northcutt made the stop, just enough for the first down.
First and 10 for the Vikings from their own 20. Last time Mazama held onto the football, they went 69 yards in 7 plays, capped it off with a 38-yard touchdown. First and 10 now for the Vikes. Pack in that line of scrimmage, no wide receivers wide. Van Gastel, 3 running backs behind him. Van Gastel hands it off to Anderson, who is hit quickly. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, but no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for Mazama.
Tolson Higgins shot through the line and made that tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Well done.
2nd and 10 coming up for Mazama. The Henley Hornets look good on defense in the early going of this game. Just that one play over the top, the touchdown pass to Hubble. But Henley's got to feel good about the way they're defending the rush, at least in the early parts of this first quarter.
Yeah, I agree. Henley's done a nice job for the most part.
3:08 to go in the first, and a timeout is called by Mazama. We're going to stick with you through this one. 3:08 to go in the first. The Vikings lead 7-0. Henley's had a little bit of trouble moving the football, but Mazama hasn't been all that lucky either. It's been a contested ball game through the first about 9 minutes of this ball game.
Yeah, you can see just by watching the teams play here early that both teams have players and athletes, and the team that executes will probably end up winning this game. It's going to come down to mistakes and taking advantage of key situations for sure.
And like you said, both teams kind of daring each other to throw the football early. You think they're still kind of feeling each other out down there?
A little bit. Mazama goes with that tight formation on offense. They won't even split out receivers. They'll just go tight with 3 running backs, and you've really got to get that surge on the line, and you've got to shoot those linebackers through the line and try to get behind the line of scrimmage and make that tackle.
Henley's defense back out onto the field, anchored by Garrett Northcutt, the senior linebacker, 5'9", 170 pounds. Also going to see Austin Fitz out there, along with Owen Sheen, just to name a few of the defenders out there for the Henley Hornets. Mazama back out on the field as well. 2nd and 10, a quick snap. It's going to be handed off to Gailey along the far sideline, and a quick tackle, a gain of maybe 2, maybe 3 on the play. 3rd down coming up for Mazama.
Tolson Higgins again making a nice read for a short gain, and Henley started the game, I noticed, with 4 defensive linemen. Now they'll go to 5 sometimes, so there are some adjustments already being made.
3rd down and a long 5 coming up for for Mazama. So far tonight, the Vikings are 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. Snap to Van Gastel, handed off up the middle to Anderson. He falls forward but is short of the first down marker. It'll bring up 4th down and 1, and they're saying they give him the first down. Ooh, that's close. Maybe just by the length of the football, they get the first down.
Matthew McCoy made the tackle, and it was a good defensive play, but just enough to give Mazama a new set of downs.
1st and 10 for the Hornets for the Vikings from their own 30. With 2:07 to go in the first, Mazama leads 7-0. And Gastel loaded backfield with the triple option, ready to go. Another handoff up the middle, this time stuffed again. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Vikes coming up, and checking into the game for Henley is Connor Sieben.
That whole left side of the line for Henley making a nice stop there. Very short gain. Mazama, a very methodical offense. They'll huddle up. They'll take their time. They'll come to the line. And that's why this quarter's almost over. So we'll see the quarter end here in about a minute and a half.
2nd and 10. Van Gastel back to pass. Throws it over the middle, and the pass is complete along the far sideline. Gain of about 19 on the play. Good for a Mazama first down.
Hubble seems to be his target so far tonight. Another nice route, kind of an out route to the far side of the field. And another good throw. He just had a couple steps on his defender and was able to make that catch before stepping out of bounds.
A good job by the sophomore Van Gastel to fit it in that small window that was there.
Nice throw.
1st and 10 from the Mazama 49-yard line. Didn't quite get to midfield. Van Gastel with the packed backfield. This one, another toss over to the far side, and shedding a defender, now past the 40, now up past the 35 to the 30. And carrying that one for the Vikings was Aiden Kent, and a gain of about 19 yards on the play.
We haven't seen that yet tonight. Kind of a nifty little option pitch to the near side. And Colton Smith bumped him out, but not before picking up a big gain for the Vikings.
Van Gastel with the call from the sideline, bringing it in the huddle. Also checking in for the Vikings, number 10, Brody Hubble. He's back in the game. And 1st and 10 from the Henley 29. 47.5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Mazama leads 7-0. A quick snap for the Vikings. It is Van Gastel on the carry. He cuts up the near sideline for a gain of about 7 on the play.
That was a designed quarterback run right from the snap, and Mazama doing a nice job of mixing it up a little bit. They'll go inside, inside, inside. They've thrown a couple times. Now they're going outside with the ball to some success for sure.
It'll be 2nd and about 4 to go for Mazama. They've been getting to the line and snapping the ball quickly. In the backfield, it's Gailey and also Aiden Kent. As they walked up to the line, they're just going to let the first quarter timer run out. It's been a quick one so far as we are through the first 12 minutes. Mazama leads 7-0 in the Southside Series. We've got the second quarter coming up on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Van Gastel keeping it on the first play from scrimmage in the second quarter. He's brought out of bounds after a gain of about 15 on the play, maybe 20. Now looking at it again, and a first down for Mazama, and their 10th play of the drive puts him at 1st and goal.
Luke Bennett pushed him out of bounds before he could get in and score on that play. That was a nice run there. I think what enabled him to get open outside was some good fakes inside. He fooled most of the Henley defense there.
1st and goal from the 9. Mazama driving here. The 11th play of the drive coming up. Van Gastel with the keeper. He's got some lead blockers, but is wrapped up in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd and goal for the Vikes.
Looked like that was Tulson Higgins who came from behind and tripped him up. Just grabbed his heel just enough to trip him up.
Tulson Higgins, that's his 25th tackle of the season. That's good for 25th in the state in terms of defensive tackles. Second and goal from the 9. Mazama now on the far hash as they drive from left to right across your screen. It looked like a keeper for Van Gastel. He tries to power his way through. Gets a gain of about 6 on the play. Down at the 4-yard line, so call it a gain of 5. And the 13th play of the drive coming up for Mazama.
Do you think these teams watch tape?
I'm sure they've seen extensive tape of each other, so much so to where they know
we saw this at LaPine last week.
Yes, we did.
So, it makes you think maybe they saw something last week against LaPine where that quarterback running the football is quite effective.
Third and goal from the 4. And this time a run up the middle and just short of the end zone, down at the 1, brings up 4th and goal. Mazama, an opportunity here to either pin Henley in some pretty awful field position, get a touchdown, or take some points at a field goal. Looks like the Vikings, though, opting to go for it here on 4th and goal from the 1.
That's well done by the Hornets, forcing them into a 4th down here.
And a timeout called by the Henley Hornets. And Mazama so far tonight, they are 2 for 4 in 3rd down conversions. They've not tried yet on 4th down, but it's coming up. And Kevin, you said it, Mazama watching a little bit of film, doing a little bit of what LaPine does, but what Mazama does primarily is that triple option. How do you think Henley's got to go about keeping on defending that here in the rest of this ball game? How do you defend the triple option? There's so many options, it's in the name.
Right. Well, what you want to do is you want to plug up those holes to where the running backs are headed. And it's easier said than done, but you want to get those linebackers to fill those holes, have the linemen hold where they are, and then anything outside is going to be up to your defensive ends to keep that run contained. And Henley's done a nice job. They stiffened up their defense here, and they forced a 4th down, and we're going to see a true goal line stand situation here with 4th, and they're probably about half a yard out from the touchdown.
4th and goal from the 1. Mazama, they know what they want to run. They just need 3 feet to punch in a touchdown. Van Gastel under center. He tries to push it in himself. A flag is down, and he might have been short of the end zone anyway, but a flag is down in the backfield. A false start against Mazama. This brings him back. Not what you want to see if you're Coach Vic Lease, although they were short of the touchdown anyway, so maybe a silver lining. They get another chance at it.
You know what? That penalty actually helps the Vikings because he was short. Henley would have taken possession inside the 1. Now Mazama gets another crack at it from outside the 5. That was just kind of a weird series of events there where a penalty actually helped the offense.
And now you have a little bit more field to work with now. 4th and goal from the 5. Van Gastel under center, packed backfield. Van Gastel, and before the snap, another flag on the far sideline this time. And another penalty coming. As we take a look at our Whitecap tonight, Darren Rutledge. It's offsides against Henley.
And that puts it right back inside the 1 again. Still 4th down.
You can hear the Mazama student section all the way over here, and that's what I will say tonight. We've got a packed grandstands. Mazama student section is packed, and we're wrapped all the way around to the snack shack tonight here at Henley High School.
Yeah, we have folks standing, for the most part, clear around the field, in addition to all the seats being taken. So nice to see football here back in the Klamath Basin for sure.
So it'll be 4th and goal from about the 2.5-yard line. Let's see if we'll get a playoff this time. Van Gastel under center. Takes the snap, and it is an inside handoff. And punching it in for a Mazama touchdown. I believe that was Trevor Anderson.
Well, he went off the left side there and found just enough room to skate into the end zone. So a valiant effort by the Hornets defense there, but Mazama able to punch it in for 6.
Now on to attempt the point after is Trace Horton. The kick is up and no good. The score will remain 13-0 with 10:05 to go in the second. Mazama leads the Southside Series. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 60 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
And we welcome you back to Henley High School, the site of tonight's MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The score 13-0. Mazama leads the Southside Series. They capped off a 15-play, 91-yard drive, and it took them, well, just about 7 minutes to do it. 7 minutes and change, capping it off with a Aiden Kent 4-yard touchdown.
That's what they do, and that's how you win football games. Henley now has to just believe that they're always in the game with their speed and their offensive ability. They're only down 13, plenty of time.
The kick is up from Mazama, bounces at around the 16, fielded at the 15. Colton Smith trying to get around some defenders, a loose football again. There's a second fumble of the game, and Mazama with the takeaway. Second fumble, second turnover for Henley, and not what you want. Kicking off what would have been their second possession. Now Mazama gets a third crack at it here with extraordinary field position from the 26-yard line.
Trace Horton with a nice takeaway. On these run backs, I'm noticing Mazama's going for the football. They're making an active effort to strip that ball. So Henley ball carriers are going to have to really two-hand that ball and tuck it. Another turnover.
Last time Mazama got the fumble and turnover, they ended up scoring on that drive. This time with great field position, they start at the Henley 26. Van Gastel with the snap. It's handed off to Gailey on the inside. He gains about 2 yards. Brought down, second down coming up for the Vikes.
And Tulson Higgins really is everywhere. He was all over that play. He made a nice tackle. Pickup of about maybe 1-2.
About 1 yard, so 2nd and 9 coming up for the Vikes. Continuing to possess the football, and you ask Coach Vic Lease what he wants, and that's at the top of his list every week, possessing the football. You have the ball, the other team can't score, and that's what he said earlier this week during the interviews, and he knows what his team is good at, and so far they've exercised that part of their game. 2nd and 9 coming up for Mazama. Van Gastel under center again with the packed backfield. This time it's a design keeper. He's got leading blockers, but he's wrapped up by Northcutt after a gain of about 4 on the play. That brings up 3rd and 4 for the Vikes.
Garrett, one of the leading tacklers in the state, with a nice tackle there to put Mazama in a 3rd down situation. This would be a good time for Henley to get a stop for sure.
Mazama facing 4th down for the 5th time tonight so far. They are 2 for 4, 50% on 3rd down conversions to this point in the ball game. 8.5 to go in the second quarter. The Vikings lead the Hornets 13-0. 3rd and 5 for Mazama. Inside handoff to Anderson. He falls forward for a gain of 3 on the play, but just short of the 1st down marker. That brings up 4th and 1. Maybe 4th and 2 for the Vikes. And now Coach Lease, do you kick the field goal here from about 30 yards out, or do you go for it 4th and 2?
I think this was always 4 down territory in his mind with that last play call. He's going to take 2 tracks to pick up a 1st down. So this is 4th and about 2.
Van Gastel on the keeper. He trudges forward. It's close. And it looks like he got it. 1st down for the Vikings, a 4th down conversion. 2nd time tonight that Mazama is good on 4th down.
Yeah, I think we'll see that a lot. If they're on the Henley half of the field and it's 3rd and long, that they will, for the most part, plan for 2 downs to pick up the 1st.
1st and 10 from the Henley 16. Mazama driving the 5th play of the drive coming up. 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Mazama leads 13-0. Van Gastel under center, takes a snap, inside handoff to Anderson, who breaks the first tackle, cuts up field, and is finally brought down just before the goal line at about the 1. A gain of about 13 on the play. Anderson was wrapped up and broke the tackle, cut up field for a Mazama first down.
Yeah, that was a nice strong run. He kept churning those legs and was able to break a couple of tackles, and Mazama knocking on the door once again.
It is first and goal inside the 5, call it the 3-yard line. Packed backfield, the triple option. This time another handoff to Anderson. And he is just short of the goal line. Maybe gained a yard on the play. That brings up second and goal from the 2.
Higgins again finding his way in the backfield, making a nice tackle.
And Mazama's defense once again backed up on their own goal line. They made it interesting last time they were here, but Mazama eventually able to score 6. That was the last time the Vikes were down here, making the score 13-0. Second and goal from the 3. And Gastel, another handoff on the inside. There is a flag down on the near sideline. Into the end zone goes the Vikings, but there is a flag down. And we take a look at the Whitecap, Darren Rutledge tonight, and this time, again at the goal line, Mazama, the penalties are killing him. This is going to move the football backwards. Repeat, second and goal.
Good break for the Hornets there, forcing Mazama to score from a little further out.
It is second and goal from the 8. Van Gastel dropping back to pass, feels the pressure and falls incomplete. Intended target was number 9, Aiden Kent. Hit his hands and bounced off. Third and goal coming up from Mazama.
First time we've seen Mazama throw the football in the red zone down here on the last couple of possessions, and that's a good thing for Henley as it drops incomplete. Third down.
Vikings so far tonight, 2 for 6 on third down conversions. They faced third down quite a few times already tonight, but been good on this third down. Third and goal from the 8. Van Gastel, a designed keeper. He's going to cut upfield on the far sideline and dives for the pylon. It looks like he might be just short. Brought it back up to the 2, so a gain of 6 on the play for Van Gastel. Fourth and goal for the Vikes.
Looked like Garrett Northcutt. I couldn't see who was in on that tackle. I think Garrett made his way over there to stop the touchdown. And we have another fourth down goal line stand.
Mazama so far on fourth down tonight, 2 for 2. They've converted on each of their opportunities thus far tonight with 5.5 to go in the second quarter. The score 13-0. Mazama leads. And it looks like Coach Alex Stork going to call his second timeout of the ball game. He's left with one more this half. We're going to stick with you through this timeout. Kevin Mazama driving the ball once again so far. They've taken it 23 yards. They had good field position to start this drive, but Henley, their defense, as much as it's been on the field, still holding up.
Yeah, and we talked about, mistakes and key moments, and this is a key moment. This is a huge play. You've got fourth down at about the 4-yard line. Doesn't seem like Mazama wants to kick. They don't want to take 3. They want to get 6. So this is a big play for the Hornets. They're only down 13, and a stop here would go a long way in helping them win this ball game.
Talk about that 23 yards. It's taken Mazama 7 plays to get there. They've only thrown the ball once. The running game is working as designed for Mazama. Like we said, you get 3-4 yards every run. First down, first down, first down. You keep the ball in possession. It's what Mazama has been known for as they now go for their 8th straight Skyline Conference title under Coach Vic Lees.
It's a good formula, and if the running game is working, don't deviate from it. Just keep pounding the football.
Talk about those 7 straight Skyline Conference titles for Vic Lee's program. They've also won 7 of the last 8 Southside Series games. Henley does hold the series edge overall with 16 wins to Mazama's 13, but as of late, the Vikings have had the advantage. Mazama coming out quick out of the timeout. They're already set up, ready to go. Fourth and goal from the 3. A man in motion, and it's an option keeper for Van Gastel. He's wrapped up and doesn't get in there, and a turnover on downs. Mazama stopped by the Henley D.
Tyler Harper coming up with a big stop right there for the Hornets. Mazama's showing a little something different there. They split two receivers out really wide and showed a different look, trying to trick the Hornets, but they didn't fall for it, and that's a big play for Henley.
And now the key for the Hornets defense is they take over at their own 2-yard line. Possess the football for a little while. You got to drive the ball, try to put some points up. You've got 5.5 minutes to do it. You're only down 13. Still a big drive, though, for the Hornets.
Yes.
Only the second possession they've had so far this game. Shaw Stork in the backfield. This time a handoff to Tolson Higgins. He tries to cut up field and goes backwards to about the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11 coming up for the Hornets. Don't have a whole lot of room to go backwards, although Higgins does go backwards there. They're on their own 1-yard line.
You know Mazama is going to be trying to penetrate and knock that ball back into the end zone.
Hornets come out. Owen Sheen and Colton Smith to the near side. And Coach Alex Stork going to take his final timeout of the half with 4:49 to go in the second quarter. His team trailing 13-0. Kevin, let's talk about this offensive drive coming up for the Hornets. They've only possessed the football once. The last time they had the ball was with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. It has been quite some time since the Henley O has been out there.
Right, and they need to keep the defense off the field, give them a little break. And the offense here, they need to find something. They need to give Shaw a little bit of time in that backfield, and they need to find something that can move the ball down the field, maybe in big chunks. Yeah, Mazama's really playing good defense on the run so far tonight.
It's going to be up to Shaw Stork. Last drive for Henley only lasting 5 plays. They've also fumbled the ball twice tonight, once on a punt return, once on a kick return. Mazama unable to get points on that last turnover, so only getting points out of the first one, but still costing the Hornets, not where they'd like to be, down 13, but still early in the ball game. 4:49 to go in the second. The teams are back out on the field. The Hornets trail the Vikings 13-0. They are backed up on their own 1-yard line. 2nd and 11. Shaw Stork in the backfield. Stork in the end zone, takes the snap, launches one over the middle and overthrows his receiver by about 5 yards. Stork putting a little bit too much gas under that one, brings up 3rd and long.
Well, there was that big chunk of yardage we just were speaking about. Henley needs to try to stretch the field a little bit and keep as many Mazama players out of the box as possible. And this brings up a 3rd and long now.
3rd and long, and Henley on their own 1-yard line. Big play coming up for the Hornets. They'd like to chip away, put some points up on the board this drive, but first they need 12 yards. Shaw Stork in the backfield, 3 wide receivers to the near side as the Hornets drive from right to left. Shaw Stork in the backfield, takes his time, unhurls it down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Was reined in at the 30, but the grass assisted the catch. Incomplete pass, and that brings up 4th.
That was a good effort. Henley almost came up with that, but it will force a punting situation. I like that play call. It was almost there.
Henley going to be punting. Owen Sheen basically under the goalposts in his own end zone. Out to receive is Kent. He's at the Henley 35. High snap. Sheen with the kick. Kent fields it at the 40. He comes out to the 38-yard line and is wrapped up. That is where Mazama will start their drive, still in Henley territory. With 4:26 to go in the half, Mazama takes over from the Henley 36-yard line.
You knew Mazama was going to get good field position on this punt, but Connor Sieben made sure he got no extra yards on that run back. Good tackle.
First and 10 for the Vikings, and they're marking it at the 35, not the 36. Last time started with fairly good field position, 26 yards away from the end zone, had no points on that drive, so Henley hoping for similar fortunes. This one a handoff to Kent. He has some room along the outside. Gets a gain of 8 before being brought down. Second down coming up for the Vikings.
And that's one of those first down plays where you don't like to give up 7 or 8 yards. Austin Fitz made the stop there, and he's having to come out of the game.
Checking in for Fitz. It looks to be Justin Elbert. And Van Gastel handing it off to Anderson, but play is stopped right before the snap. It'll be a false start against Mazama. This one coming back will repeat second down. It'll be second and about 8. A good break for Henley there. It didn't look like the defense was totally set, but someone up front for Mazama jumped the gun just a little bit. Pushes him back. Second and 8 coming up for the Vikings.
They spotted the ball.
They spotted the ball, yeah. There's a little bit of confusion down on the field. The ball should be moved back up to about the 33-yard line. Right now it's at the 36. They're behind the sticks right now, and Mazama confused, as is everyone up here. Hey, by the way, tonight, passing out things as you walk into the field here at Henley High School, Paddling for Childhood Cancer, a small local nonprofit organization. They're raising money to offset medical and household expenses for families battling childhood cancer. You can learn more about them at paddlingforchildhoodcancer.com. Second and 8. The Vikings. Gatzel hands it off to Anderson, who plunges forward for a gain of 6 on the play. Still short of the sticks. Third down for the Vikings coming up.
Tolson Higgins on the stop. And here we have another third down. But I'm going to guess Mazama will take 2 downs to pick this up.
On third down tonight, Mazama 2 for 6. 30%. Second down, it is a handoff along the far side, and could be just short again as Anderson on the carry. Fourth down and inches for the Vikings.
That was a nice hard tackle by Garrett Northcutt. Threw the running back backwards so he would not get past the marker. And we have another fourth down.
Vikings tonight on fourth down, 2 for 3. Falling forward, and Van Gastel will fall his way to a Mazama first down. That is the 9th first down for the Vikings tonight. Compare that to only 1 for the Hornets thus far. First and 10 from the Henley 24.
And success on fourth down is definitely becoming a factor in this game. Mazama not even thinking about it on fourth down. They're running a play, and they're, for the most part, picking up the yardage that they need.
2.5 to go in the second. The Vikings lead 13-0. First and 10. Mazama with the ball from the 25. Play action pass. Van Gastel ends up keeping it himself on a scramble. Gets about 5.5 yards on the play. Brings it to the 20. And second down coming up for the Vikings.
Garrett Northcutt finding the groove. He's been in on 3 or 4 tackles in a row, making another nice stop.
Checking into the game, Brody Hubble for Mazama. Second and 5 from the Henley 20. Van Gastel, another play action pass, this time tossing it to the near side to Gailey. Keeps his feet in bounds. Gets back to the 20, but not much further. 3rd and 4 coming up for Mazama.
It's a good tackle by Tyler Harper. Van Gastel was looking downfield, and good coverage in the secondary forced him to throw to his outlet. And a good stop by Henley. Third down coming up.
Mazama calling a timeout with $1:33 to go in the second. The Vikings lead 13-0, and 93 seconds from halftime, so stick with us through that. We'll break down the stats as we have them so far and take a look around the state and see what's going on this weekend in the world of college football and the NFL. Major League Baseball, the wild card race heating up. It's a perfect time of year for sports to be back in full swing, Kevin. October starting to cool down a little bit. Beautiful nights.
Yeah, after the last year and a half or so, it's nice to just kind of see things normal. I know we keep saying that, but it really is getting into the swing of things right in the middle of the season now, and the conference play has begun, and it's definitely a fun time to be out on a Friday.
So the team's back out onto the field. 3rd and 5 coming up for Mazama. Thus far, 3rd down conversions. They are 2 for 7. 5 yards out. Van Gastel going to pitch it to the outside to Kent. Kent trying to find the far sideline, and he sheds one defender, brings it up inside the 10. A first down for the Vikings, and they're going to mark him down at about the 4-yard line. Oh, the 6. Call it the 6.
That was well blocked on the far side. And he nearly broke that for a touchdown.
Another 1st and goal for the Vikings. Thus far on red zone trips, they are 1 for 2 in terms of getting points. A handoff on the inside to Anderson. He tries to jump over the pile and does. He gains about 4 on the play. Still short of the promised land. 2nd and goal.
Just over a minute to play, but the clock won't be a factor here as it is 2nd down. So Mazama going to be able to take their time, call the play they want, and see if they can punch it in for a touchdown.
2nd and goal for the Vikings from the 2-yard line. This time a handoff to Anderson, but he's wrapped up and brought down for a loss of 2 yards on the play. 3rd and goal from the 5 coming up for Mazama.
Nice defense. Looks like Tulson Higgins there. Henley playing tough, despite not having things go their way. Playing a tough brand of football here.
25 seconds and counting. 3rd and goal from the 5. Mazama leads 13-0. They've got the football. This time a fumble, snap, and loose ball. It looks like Van Gastel fell on it. And the first real blunder of the game maybe for Mazama. And it looks like with that, Coach Lease of the Mazama Vikings will take his 3rd and final timeout of the half. 13 seconds left to go. You've got 4th and goal from about the 6. If you're Vic Lease in this situation, Kevin, do you take the points to end off the half? Henley gets the ball to start the second half. Or, you're out of timeouts. You basically get one shot at a touchdown.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mazama even consider kicking a field goal. I think this would be a good time for one. It would give you a 16-point lead, but knowing Mazama's history, they may just go for it here. Good clock management by the Vikings. They allowed themselves plenty of time here. They have 1 down to try to score. Henley's defense, bend but don't break, the old cliche, but they've done a nice job doing just that. And we have a big play coming up.
And Mazama, their field goal kicker, Trace Horton, he's a junior. He has not had to been called on to kick field goals so far. He's only 1 for 1 on the season through 4 games. And it looks like he's not going to get the opportunity here. 4th and goal from the 6. Mazama going for it here to end the quarter. A quick pass is caught for a Mazama touchdown. Caught on the near side by Savion Burke.
That was a gutsy call, but a nice call. Just a simple slant. But if you throw the football where you need to throw it, that's a hard pass to defend. And that was a well-deserved touchdown by the Vikings there.
And it looks like the Vikings might end up going for 2 to try to make up for that missed extra point earlier in the ball game. And that looks to be the case. There's 7.9 seconds left to go. With that score, Mazama leads 19-0 in the 30th edition of the Southside Series. The Mazama offense still out there trying to go for 2. Van Gastel takes a snap. He decides to keep it himself. A pitch to the near side to Gailey. Gailey diving for the pylon, and he gets there. 2-point conversion good for the Vikes. They lead 21-0 with 7.9 seconds left to go in the second quarter. That drive for Mazama, 10 plays, 4 minutes, 19 seconds. They went 36 yards, capping it off with a 6-yard connection between Van Gastel and Burke. Van Gastel, that's his 2nd passing touchdown tonight.
We talk about how the coaches draw it up, and you'd have to say Mazama has executed exactly what they've drawn up tonight. Long drives, takeaways, finishing, touchdown drives. And the thing that I'm most surprised tonight about is the success on fourth down. They've probably had, 2, 3, 4 fourth down conversions tonight?
After that fourth and goal conversion, they are 4 for 5.
That's pretty rare to see a team complete or try on 5 fourth downs and a half. So that's been a big part of the game tonight.
So with 7.9 seconds to go in the half, Mazama will kick off. Maybe get one play off for Henley, depending on how long this kick return takes, but they will get the ball back to start the second half. The kick, more of a line drive squib, bounces off of Tolson Higgins. He fields it at the 30 and brings it up to about the 32-yard line. 3.5 seconds now remaining in the half. We'll see if Henley decides to break off a play, or if they decide to run the remaining clock before halftime. They'll get the ball back when we start the third quarter. But Henley, they take over for their third possession of the ball game with 3.5 seconds to go in the half. Haven't seen much of Henley's offense. Last time out, it was a 3-and-out. They were backed up against their own goal line. And Shaw Stork.
They're going to run a play here.
Yeah.
I thought they might just kneel on, but they'll go for it.
Mazama playing a little bit of prevent defense. Shaw Stork, he's going to take the lead blocker. He cuts up past the 30, finds himself up to the 35, and that will bring us to the end of the first half after about a 7-yard gain from Shaw Stork. Doesn't make a dent in Mazama's 21-0 lead at half as the teams trot off the field. We'll be back with the halftime stats and a look ahead coming up next on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 960 Sports.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The Southside Series tonight at halftime. The Mazama Vikings lead 21-0. And, the scoreboard says Mazama's up big, but the Henley defense, they still haven't looked half bad. They've just, Mazama's offense have been gifted with great field position so far thanks to a couple of Henley turnovers.
Yeah, both teams have played some tough football, and I'm impressed with the toughness showed by both teams. But this has been kind of an odd game in a number of ways. I can't believe the whole half Henley offense ran 9 plays.
Yeah.
They've, the number one thing in that locker room, they've got to find a way, they've got to get that offense back on the field and able to generate some yards and then some points. 9 plays and a half, that's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Well, so we'll talk about this half as we've had it so far. Mazama started the game with a football. Took them 7 plays to go 69 yards, touchdown, 38-yard connection between Hubble and Van Gastel. Henley had the football. They ran 5 plays. Couldn't quite get much. They were forced to punt. Mazama took over at their own 9-yard line, and this is the drive where Henley's defense did struggle a little bit. They went 91 yards in about, just trying to do the quick math, 7 minutes. Took them 15 plays, capped it off with a 4-yard touchdown to Kint. And after that, Mazama recovers a fumble on the kickoff. They take the ball again, started at the 26-yard line in Henley territory. They went for it on 4th and goal, couldn't convert, pinned Henley inside the 3-yard line. Henley was forced to punt. They ran 3 plays. Mazama takes over at the Henley 36. Took them 10 plays and about 4 minutes and 23 seconds to cash in for 6. That's how we get our score of 21-0. But Kevin, exactly like you said, Henley's got to find a way to get that offense back on the field, because as decent as the Henley defense has looked, they will start to wear on them a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing that's odd about this game is, as we mentioned earlier, there have been 5 attempts on 4th down by Mazama, and they were successful on 4 of them. So somehow Henley's got to figure out a way to stop that 4th down, pick up the 1st down that Mazama has been able to do so far. If Henley can start getting some takeaways, I think that'll improve their chances, obviously, in the second half. They need to get the ball.
Well, they'll start with the ball here in this second half. What are some of the things you'd like to see from the Henley offense? As they really have not possessed the ball that much. Mazama hasn't gotten a good look at their offense. You think, Henley still has a golden opportunity to put up a couple touchdowns here and not even get all the way through the playbook.
Right. Henley's always in the game with their speed and their ability to score running and passing. But offense takes rhythm, and you really can't really blame their offense at this point. They just haven't had a chance to be on the field and get rhythm, get a couple good runs, get a couple 1st downs, put some big plays together. So they just need to get us a nice sustained drive coming out of the second half kickoff, and I think from there Coach Stork can manipulate his team the way he needs to get the Hornets back in it.
Talk about Shaw Stork looking for a big half from him. He's 1 for 4 passing today with an 18-yard completion. That's about all Henley has to their name so far. They trail 21-0. We are at halftime in the Southside Series. We're going to take a break and come back. When we do, we'll take a look around the state, some halftime scores from some other games going on this beautiful Friday evening to kick off the month of October. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Mazama leads at half over the Henley Hornets 21-0. Henley coming into this game with a 4-0 record. They beat Ashland to open up the season. They took care of Wairika, Crook County a couple weeks ago. Last week, a close win against Lapine. They've outscored their opponents this season 133-40. North Valley is behind them in the early parts of the Skyline Conference standings. They are 3-1. Hidden Valley 2-1. Mazama is fourth in the Skyline Conference right now, just in terms of overall record. They are 2-2 on the season, although Mazama, they are looking like a very good football team tonight, the team that we knew they would be coming over to Henley High School this evening. Klamath Union and Phoenix towards the bottom of the Skyline Conference, both 0-3. And Klamath Union and North Valley, they were scheduled to battle tonight. Klamath Union ending up having to forfeit to the Knights. Their team impacted by COVID, so unable to play this week. Hope they can get back at it against Phoenix next week. And tonight, Phoenix, those Pirates, taking on the Hidden Valley Mustangs. Lost River at Cross Point Christian tonight, just another Basin team as we take a look at the top 10 in the state of Oregon and who these guys are playing. Marshfield is tops in the state this evening, and Marist is number 2. Marist on the road against North Eugene. Marshfield playing Staten. Estacada, they are playing Gladstone tonight, and Cascade playing Woodburn. Banks is in at number 5. They're playing number 18, Astoria. Obviously, Mazama and Henley ranked number 6 and 7. You've also got Seaside on this list, LeGrand as well. LeGrand playing Burns this evening, and Tillamook rounding out the list. Sweet Home number 11, they are playing Newport this evening. Looking to see more of Shaw Stork in this second half as Henley will start with the football. We are just a few minutes away from the second half. Shaw Stork third in the state in passing, 557 yards to this point in the game. He is 38 of 72 passing. Came into tonight's game with a 54% completion percentage, fourth in the state, 8 passing touchdowns. We know the kind of quarterback that Shaw Stork can be. Hoping to see some of him in the second half.
Yeah, you can guarantee that Mazama's game plan was to set up a plan where they could contain Shaw or stop him as best they could, and so far they've been able to do that. Of course, Henley offense hasn't been on the field all that much, but you know that Mazama will be focusing on him throughout the game.
What kind of halftime speech does Coach Stork give in this situation? You're down by 3 touchdowns, but the game has been played in a very odd kind of way. Mazama's started with good field position. I assume number one on that whiteboard in the locker room, ball security. You got to hold on to the football. Henley has coughed it up twice.
Absolutely. The turnover differential is key. Not only do you want to hold on to the ball, but you need to force a couple too. So you're gonna need to go there and grab the football if you can. Try to knock it out. Be a little bit more aggressive in trying to strip the ball, maybe, as Mazama had success with in the first half.
Well, we are getting ready for the second half of action from Hill O'Brien Field on the campus of Henley High School. The halftime score tonight, 21-0. Real quickly, if you're listening on the radio, 104.3 960 Sports, we've got live video for you on mybasin.com, totally free to view. And the cool thing is it's hosted through YouTube. So whether you want to watch it on your desktop, your laptop, maybe your phone, your tablet at home, you can also get us on your smart TV if you'd like to. If you've got the YouTube app, maybe you've got a Roku, an Apple TV, an Amazon Fire Stick, whatever it is, you can all watch it on the big screen. And even if you've got a video game console laying around, your PlayStation, your spare Xbox, whatever it is, you can catch the second half of action of the Southside Series on mybasin.com. The halftime score, 21-0. Mazama leads. We'll see if Henley has anything to say about it in the second half on 104.9 960 Sports.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
And we welcome you back to Hill O'Brien Field on the campus of Henley High School, the site of tonight's MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports as we gear up for the third quarter in just a couple seconds. 21-0. Mazama leads, and Henley will start with the football tonight as we look north towards Hogback Mountain. The sky has dimmed. It is a beautiful night for football, beautiful clear skies. The lights are on. Luckily, Kevin, you mentioned it, the bugs primarily hanging around the lights, not so much here at the broadcast station.
the bugs aren't picking on us this week. That's always nice. We
last
talked
week,
about Henley's struggles a little bit, but we didn't really talk about what Mazama had done well in the first half, and they deserve a lot of credit. Their defense was very impressive. I liked on their offense, they really mixed up their plays. They ran a lot of different sets and we saw a lot of different things there. And of course, their ability to target the ball and get a couple turnovers. So Mazama played a really good half.
Henley trails 21-0 after one half, but they will start with the football. Henley tonight in their varsity blacks. They've got black uniforms with yellow trim around the numbers, black pants with a yellow stripe down the side. For Mazama on the road tonight, the white helmet with the blue stripes, white jerseys with blue numbering and trim, blue pants with a white stripe down the side. We are ready for third quarter action tonight. So glad that you're with us. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined by Kevin Petrick tonight, my good friend Nick Bradford running the live stream on mybasin.com. Ready for the third quarter. The kick is up, more of a line drive fielded by Tolson Higgins at the 25. He brings it up past the 30 to the 35, trying to get to the 40, and is pushed out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it, but a good return for Tolson Higgins of about 20 yards.
Okay, we'll see what kind of adjustments each team has made. And this will be interesting. This is a big drive for the Hornets. They like to pick up a couple first downs at least, and maybe even more.
This is when you get the student section behind you, try to create some energy. You're down by 3 scores, but still not out of it. Only ran 9 plays in that first half. 10th play coming up for Henley. As Shaw Stork leads his group out there, Colton Smith and Owen Sheen lined up to the near side. That is to Shaw Stork's left as they drive from right to left across your screen. Owen Sheen now switching sides. Tolson Higgins also off to the left side of Shaw Stork. Stork takes the snap, drops back, feels pressure, rolls to his left, throws it over to the near sideline. It's caught by Colton Smith for a gain of 15 on the play, but a flag down near the reception.
There might have been a face mask at the end of that play there. And that's a good start for the Hornets.
That's the kind of play you want to chunk away with. It's a personal foul, face masking against Mazama. And Kevin, you called it. Tackle looked a little bit wonky there, but Colton Smith came in, reined in the catch, and it's good for a Henley first down. Only the second time tonight we've said that.
I really like what I see. Colton is one of the top receivers in the state. And Mazama being really aggressive against the run, and they're leaving their cornerbacks to play man-to-man. And Colton was by himself out there with one-on-one coverage. Shaw made the throw. Big gain for the Hornets.
After that catch, 173 yards on the season receiving for Colton Smith. 1st and 10 now from the Mazama. Looks to be the 26-yard line. Shaw Stork, Colton Smith to the left. Play action pass, this time a pass near side. Colton Smith takes a big hit. Might have lost a yard on the play, brings up 2nd down for Henley. Sort of a screen pass there.
Gailey all over that one. Didn't fool Brandon at all. And loss of a couple for the Hornets.
It'll bring up 2nd and 11 for Henley. 11:04 to go in the third quarter. Mazama leads 21-0. Points here for Henley would go a long way, and they are driving. Smith to the near side, as is Owen Sheen. And Tolson Higgins off to the right side of Shaw Stork, sending a man in motion. Stork takes the handoff. He's got lead blockers. It's Northcutt who blocks for him. He's able to cut upfield. Shaw Stork brought down, a flag down near the side of the tackle, and a gain of 8. We'll see if it stands.
That's the first time tonight we have seen space for Shaw. He had a little opening on the right side, made the most of it, but it will come back.
Well, the reason he had space was holding up front.
Yeah.
They'll repeat 2nd down. And the 10-yard penalty will make it 2nd and 21. Ball security, avoiding penalties. Keys in this second half for the Henley Hornets, 2nd and long.
Yeah, just mistakes in general. When you're down 21, you need to play as perfectly as you can. They cannot afford too many more mistakes.
Coming to the line of scrimmage now are the Henley Hornets. Owen Sheen, Colby Scholes out there, as well as Austin Fitz, the wide receiver core for the Hornets. And it looks like it's going to be Northcutt in the backfield with Shaw Stork. 2nd and long. And a whistle blown, timeout called by the Henley Hornets. It is their first of this half.
Yeah, there was some confusion. A number of players looking to the sidelines, not sure of what the play call was.
And tough to burn a timeout this early in the second half for Coach Stork.
Yeah, you don't want to have to do that, but I think given it was 2nd and so long, they did not want to put themselves in a bad position with 3rd and even longer. So probably a good timeout to regroup and call the right play.
Ball is spotted at the 35-yard line. The yard to gain is the 16. So about 2nd and 21 coming up for the Henley Hornets. 2 wide receivers to the near side. It's Fitz and Smith. And the student section getting into a big 2nd down coming up. Shaw Stork in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. Shaw Stork takes the handoff, feels the pressure, has to take it himself. He gets past one defender and cuts upfield. Shaw Stork with a gain of 19 on the play. And did he get there for the 1st down?
He's really close to the 1st down. They may.
And I believe that he's just short. 3rd and about a foot to go. A big play busted off by Shaw Stork there. 19 yards on the gain and 3rd down coming up. And it looks like we're going to have an official timeout here. They might come out and measure it.
I thought we might see a measurement after that run because it was very close. Shaw made a nice decision. That was a big rush by the Mazama front 4 there, and Shaw was able to step up just at the right time and get himself a little space and a little room to run, and he almost picked up the 1st. They're bringing out
They are bringing out the chains, and we'll try to give you a close look at the football here as they measure it. Last week, same deal against Lapine, and it looks like they are just short by about the length of the football. And that's about what I thought. 3rd and about an inch coming up for Henley.
They're in a good position. They got a couple downs here to get this.
Henley's 5th play of the drive coming up. 3rd and very short. The Hornets in Mazama territory now. Stork waiting the snap. He's going to take it. Hand it off to Northcutt. Trudges his way up the middle for a gain of 6 and a Henley 1st down.
Well done by the Henley line. Picked up the 1st down with plenty to spare. It's a nice run by Garrett, and Tolson will come in now and replace him.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Henley in the best position they've been in all game. 6th play of the drive coming up. To the near side, it's Smith and Sheen. Fitz, the only wide receiver, lined up to the far side for Henley. Tolson Higgins back there with Shaw Stork. Shaw takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He cuts upfield. He gets past one defender and falls forward for maybe a gain of 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd for the Hornets.
We're seeing a lot more success in the Henley running game here in the second half so far. Actually, we're actually getting a little surge forward, and Shaw's seeing a little bit of room.
8.5 to go in the third quarter, a game in which Mazama does lead 21-0. And the Henley offense trying to change things up just a little bit. Shaw Stork from the near hash. He's got one wide receiver to the left, 2 to his right. Tolson Higgins also to his right side. Stork drops back to throw it over the middle. The pass is caught for a Henley touchdown. And that's Owen Sheen.
That's Owen Sheen with a catch, and that was Shaw Stork threw that ball. There was a tight window. He had 2 defenders kind of crossing in front of that, and he put that ball right on the money to Owen. And that's the way you want to open a second half if you're a Henley Hornet fan right there.
Shaw Stork with his 9th touchdown on the season, and now Sheen will try for the extra point. The kick is up, And it is good. We've got a ball game, 21-7. Henley capping off a 6-play drive to punch it in. They trail now by 14. 21-7 the score, the Southside Series with 8:09 to go in the third. You've got the MyBasin.com game on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Henley Hornets on the board with 8:09 to go in the third quarter. 21-7. Mazama still leads, but the Hornets capping off a 6-play, 4-minute drive with an Owen Sheen 11-yard touchdown connection for Shaw Stork's 9th touchdown pass of the season, and that's the Hornets team we've been used to looking at all season.
You know what? Games like this are great for a number of reasons, but this is where you really learn about your team. And Henley had their back against the wall, and they came out with just a near-perfect drive to cut the lead to 14.
And now it is Mazama's turn. The kick is up. It's more of a squib kick to about the 48-yard line on the other field. Looks like Henley tried for the onside. They ended up giving Mazama pretty good field position. They'll take over from their own 48 with 8:08 to go in the quarter. And Kevin, Mazama's first drive of the game, I want to take a little bit more of a look at that because they were forced to punt on their first drive. They punted the ball. Henley coughed it up on the punt return. This could be a very different ball game without that fumble, but Henley's defense has stopped Mazama twice tonight, even though they're up by 2 scores.
Right. You know, Mazama's field position has been so good that they're able to go for it on fourth if they're near the red zone. But if you can drive them back, they will have to punt.
1st and 10 for the Vikes. Van Gastel, he's going to hand it off to Gailey, who fights forward, a gain of 6 on the play. And 2nd down looming for the Vikings.
Owen Northcutt scrambled over, made the stop. And we'll see if Mazama's changed their game plan at all.
Well, Mazama's game plan worked in the first half. They did score 3 touchdowns, and one of them on a 91-yard drive. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Vikes. 3 backs in the backfield in the wishbone. It's a keeper for Van Gastel. He goes backwards, cuts upfield, gets the first down, a gain of about 6 on the play. And in on the tackle, Colton Smith, among others.
Van Gastel can run in his own right. We haven't mentioned that a lot tonight, but he's a very capable ball carrier. He's got speed, and he picked up a first down right there.
It's the 11th first down of the night for the Vikings. 1st and 10 from the Henley 39 as the Vikings drive from left to right. They are driving east here at Hill O'Brien Field. And Gastel with the snap. He's going to hand it off. I believe that was to Heaton up the middle. Oh, it was Aiden Kint. Apologies there. 2nd down looming for the Vikings.
McCoy with the tackle. Doing a nice job in there tonight.
Tolson Higgins also in on that tackle as well. He's got the 24th most tackles in the state at 26. Clock still ticking, 6.5 to go, 21-7. Mazama leads. It's 2nd and 5 for the Vikings. And Van Gastel takes a snap, hands it off to Kint, who finds himself a small hole, gains about 3 on the play, still short of the first. Call it 3rd and 2 coming up for the Vikings.
Matthew McCoy figured it out again, in on the stop. And we have a 3rd down situation for Mazama.
Mazama so far 3 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. And this time it is a pitch to the outside. Van Gastel getting it to Gailey, who cuts upfield. He gets to the 20, maybe the 17 before being taken out of bounds. A gain of 18 on the play, and that'll be a Mazama first down.
That pitch play has worked a few times tonight. When Mazama was able to get outside, they pick up some big yards. Luke Bennett pushed him out, but not before Mazama moved the ball inside the 20.
1st and 10 from the Henley 16. And Henley in the red zone tonight has been pretty good. Mazama in their red zone trips are 2 for 3 tonight in terms of getting points. They did first force a turnover on downs. Other than that, a couple of passing touchdowns for Mazama thus far. 1st and 10 from the 16. And Gastel, the loaded backfield. This one, a handoff up the middle for a gain of 5. No, I'll call it a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Wrapped up nicely by Owen Northcutt, and I'm starting to see players with hands on their hips for the Henley defense. They've been out there a lot tonight, and they may be getting a little tired. And that's something to look for.
Happened against Lapine too. They spent quite a bit of time out there on the field and ended up getting pushed around by the Lapine offensive line a little bit. Want to avoid that in the second half against Mazama. 2nd and 7. This one a snap, another handoff up the middle. This time a small gain on the play, maybe no gain. It'll be 3rd and about 5 coming up for the Vikings.
That was some nice work on the interior. Austin Fitz, bottom of the pile with a good tackle.
4:15 to go in the third quarter of a 21-7 ball game. The Mazama Vikings lead the Henley Hornets in the 30th edition of the Southside Series. And Gastel under center. Gailey, Kenton, Anderson behind him. This one, a play action pass. Van Gastel going for the end zone, and the pass is caught for a Mazama touchdown.
Another nifty play, like Brendan Monteith with the catch out there on the far side. Little play action and a good throw.
Mazama answering with points of their own here in the third quarter. And now on to kick the extra point is Horton. The kick is up, and it is good. The score 28-7. Mazama leads with 3:51 to go in the third quarter. That drive lasting just over 4 minutes, capping it off with the Monteith touchdown. And Mazama right back in control of this game, up again by 3 scores.
Yeah, Mazama with a nice response to Henley's opening drive. They just marched that football right down the field with a good variety of plays and another touchdown.
An opportunity, though, for that Henley defense to try to get off the field once again. They get Mazama in these good spots. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 7. They've gotten Mazama into these positions, but they're having trouble finishing off these Mazama Vikings, and that's really a testament to how good of a running team Mazama is. They are one of the top teams in the state for a very good reason.
Most definitely.
The special teams units back out onto the field as we get ready to kick things off. The score 28-7, 3:51 to go in the third. Mazama leads. Henley gets a chance, though, to possess the football once again. Back to receive is Colton Smith. The kick is up. It's going to be fielded at the 5. Brought up past the 20. And down at the 26-yard line, that is where Henley will start the second drive of this second half.
Luke Bennett with a nice little return. And we'll see if Henley can score the football. The time, believe it or not, time is a factor already with just under 4 minutes to play, being down 3 scores. Henley's going to try to pick up the pace a little bit here.
Trying to pick up the pace and put some points on the board. It's 1st and 10 from the Mazama 26. The Hornets driving from right to left. They're driving westward. 2 wide receivers out to the far side for Sheen, one close to him, and Tolson Higgins off to his right. Shaw Stork decides to keep it on the option, trying to cut up the far sideline, gets some room up there, and is brought down after a gain of 9 on the play. Shaw Stork showing us why he is 4th in the state in rushing.
Monteith and Wood on the tackle. Shaw making a nice decision to keep it. Pick up 9.
It'll be 2nd and 1 to go for Henley. They do trail 3 scores, 28-7, 3:13 and counting. The Henley Hornets might want to think about picking up the pace just a little bit. Kevin, you said time does become a factor when you're playing the Mazama Vikings early in the second half. Hornets offense ready to go. Stork takes it. It's a design keeper for him. He finds himself a hole, but he's tackled from behind and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and short coming up for the Hornets so far tonight on 3rd down. Henley 0 for 2.
Trevor Anderson, nice tackle for the Vikings. And that was a makeable first down for Henley. Now they're in a 3rd down situation.
Anderson 5th in the state in tackles with 36 on the season. 3rd and short for the Hornets. To the near side, it's Scholes. Smith and Sheen lined up to the far side. Shaw takes the snap. It's a play action pass. Shaw drops the ball as he goes back to throw it. And Mazama comes away with the football. Third fumble of the game.
We'll see what they call. This might have been an incomplete pass. We'll see what the officials are going to talk about. It was a fumble, yes.
Shaw Stork, the ball slips out of his hand as he rears back to throw it. 3rd fumble of the game for Henley, and that is a heartbreaker.
Just a tough break. Looks like the ball just simply slipped out. He was poised to throw down the field, and the ball slipped out behind him.
Mazama takes over from the Henley 30 with 2:02 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Vikings lead at 28-7. Looking to extend upon their lead here. A score here might put things out of reach. Van Gastel handing it off to Anderson up the middle. He breaks 1 tackle and is brought down after a gain of 9. 2nd down coming up from Mazama.
Colby Scholes dragging him down. He makes the tackle. And Henley does not, you won't see a lot of substitutes on defense for Henley. Those 11 pretty much play every down, so I can see them getting a little worn out. But the effort is definitely still there for the Hornets.
Van Gastel sneaks it up the middle. And a 1st down for the Mazama Vikings. A gain of 5 on the play for Mazama tonight. That is 14 first downs and 4 in the second half.
Mazama has become anything but predictable. They really did a nice job mixing up the plays. That time just a wedge right up the middle. More than enough for the 1st down.
Thing is you know Mazama's going to run the football. You just don't know how they're going to do it. And so far, the Vikings have kept this Henley defensive front on their toes.
Very effective tonight.
1st and 10 from the 17. This one a handoff to Aiden Kent. He is wrapped up after pushing forward for 7 yards, and 2nd down coming up for the Vikings.
Connor Sieben, among others, in on the tackle there. And this 3rd quarter has just flown by.
35 seconds remaining in the quarter, 28-7. Mazama leads. And Henley's defense looking for another red zone stop. So far, Mazama tonight, they are 3 for 4 in the red zone in terms of scoring touchdowns. Van Gastel keeps it himself. The direct snap to him. He gets up past the 10, bring out of bounds at the 7. And that will be a Mazama 1st down.
Colton Smith on the stop. And we'll see where they mark this.
It all depends on where he went out of bounds. It looks very close again. To me, that's a 1st down by about a yard. It looks like they're waiting to discuss it.
It is right at the stick, but the down marker does say 3.
3rd and an inch. Mazama looking to convert on 3rd down again tonight. They're 4 for 10, 40%. This one a handoff to Anderson, and as a matter of fact, Van Gastel will keep it. He gets up to the goal line and can't quite squeak in. He's brought down at the 2, and that will be a first down for the Vikings, their 15th of the night.
Sometimes a good fake will go unappreciated, and 2 or 3 Hornets tackled the wrong person on that play. Really nice fake inside, and then Van Gastel made a nice move to the outside to pick up the first.
And that first down will bring us to the end of the third quarter. The score 28-7, the Vikings lead. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 9 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. We are getting ready for the fourth quarter tonight from Henley High School. Right now, the Mazama Vikings on the road in this one. They lead 28-7 over Henley, and they've got the football. They are driving the 6th play of this drive coming up as we start the fourth quarter. It'll be first and goal from the 4 for Mazama. Van Gastel trying to keep it himself. He stood up, still trudging. His feet are pumping. Did he get it? It looks like there's a group of bodies in the end zone and signaling for a Mazama touchdown. 34-7. Van Gastel snuck it in there.
Mazama able to just will their way for short yardage in those situations. And he did it once again for a touchdown.
4th touchdown of the game for the Vikings. First one for Van Gastel. The extra point, though, is no good. So the score will remain 34-7. We will stick with you through this brief intermission. 11:50 to go on the clock. Henley's offense trotting back out onto the field. This will only be their 5th possession of the ball game, and we're in the fourth quarter. Kevin, this game is moved the exact pace that Mazama has wanted to. They came into Henley High School and they've played their brand of football.
Yep. Ball control and win the turnover battle. And those are the 2 main things you want to do if you're Mazama, and they have done both of those.
For Henley, their offense has had a little bit of trouble getting started. They have fumbled the football 3 times tonight, once on a punt return, once on a kick return, and most recently, Shaw Stork gearing up for a pass, and it slipped out of his hands. Tough breaks tonight for the Hornets. Mazama has capitalized on 2 of those 3 turnovers, punched them in for points. You could say it might be a different game, but this is where the Hornets are right now. They've got a tough hill to climb. They're down by 28 with 11:50 to go in the fourth.
If you're Henley now, you just want to execute. You can't worry about the score. You just want to get the play that's called and execute that play. And then you just take what you can get.
The kick from Mazama. It is up. It bounces around and out of bounds, out at the about 4-yard line. Henley is going to start this possession at the 35.
It's a good break for Henley. They'll get some decent field position to start this drive.
Henley has scored 1 touchdown tonight, and it was when they started with fairly decent field position at their own 37. This time they get to start at their own 35. Henley still opportunity to put some points on the board, Kevin, and like you said, just execute down the stretch. Only control what you can control. As the offense, you can't control what Mazama's done on offense, and just trying to get yourselves a rhythm back into the game, maybe give the student section something to cheer for in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Henley showed that they can have success against this defense with that first drive of the half, and now they just need to show they can consistently do that. Move the football.
1st and 10 from the 35. Hornets offense with 3 wide receivers to the right side of Stork. He drops back to pass. Looking over the far sideline, and intended target was Owen Sheen. The pass falls incomplete. That brings up 2nd down for the Hornets.
Owen had a step on his defender. Ball just a little out in front of him. And that'll bring up a 2nd down.
2nd and 10, 11:42 to go in the fourth, in a 34-7 ball game. The Mazama Vikings in the lead, but still driving. 2nd and 10. Fitz, Sheen, and Smith to the near side. Colby Scholes, the far wide receiver. He's out there with Tolson Higgins. Shaw Stork alone in the backfield. Stork takes the snap. It's a low snap. He thinks about dropping back to pass. He slips in the grass and is wrapped up. A sack for this Mazama defense.
It's like Trevor Anderson back there, and that play never really had a chance. The snap was a little low, and Shaw just could not get out of the backfield. 3rd down and very long.
Third down and about 20 to go as Shaw Stork was wrapped up for the sack there. 11 minutes and counting in the fourth quarter. 35-7, Mazama leads. Shaw Stork takes the snap, is rolling to his right, tries to throw it down the sideline, and a diving catch by Colton Smith. He reins it in, and he gets back 18 of those 19 yards needed. 4th and short coming up for Henley. This point in the ball game is 4-down territory for Henley.
Wow, Colton Smith has really become quite a receiver, making a name for himself. That was a terrific catch. He had to stop and come back hard to the sideline and keep his feet in bounds and make the grab. Well done by the senior receiver.
4th and 2 for Henley. The yard to gain, the 45. Shaw Stork takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, and he is wrapped up and brought down. A turnover on downs. And the Henley defense headed back out onto the field. A turnover on downs.
Mazama just not fooled. Tanner Wood was all over that play. And another good defensive stop by the Vikings.
Play ended up going backwards. Mazama will take over 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line in Henley territory. 10-13 left to go on the clock. The Vikings in full control of this ball game. Vikings up on the line now. 1st and 10 from the 42. This one a handoff to Anderson. Tough to bring down. He gained 7. And it looks like he brought about 2-3 Hornets with him the whole way. 2nd down coming up for the Vikings and for Mazama. And they have 1 first down tonight, and that is, to say the least, 5-7 yards it seems like on 1st down all night long.
Yeah, when you can pick up that many yards on first, give yourself a 2nd and short, you can open your playbook and do lots of things, and Mazama's been able to do that for most of the night.
2nd and 4, so it was a gain of 6 on the first play of the drive. Van Gastel has his team set. This one another handoff to Anderson. He's wrapped up from behind and brought down after a gain of 6 on the play. Good for a Mazama 1st down. That is their 16th first down of the evening.
We're going to see a lot more of that as Mazama will just try to run the clock here and pick up yards as they need to. You know, we should mention they've been doing this without Zeke Heaton tonight.
Right, Zeke Heaton, the 2nd leading rusher in the state. Anderson has stepped up. You've seen more of Brandon Gailey than in games past. You know, we talked with Coach Lease a little bit, and Brandon Gailey to this point in the season has been primarily used as a blocker. You know, he got a very big block in the win last week against Eagle Point, which allowed them to score a touchdown. But tonight, he's being, tasked with handling the football. First and 10, a handoff to Anderson. He dives forward. Another big gain on first for the Vikings, but short of the stick. Second down coming up.
It says a lot about the depth that Coach Lease has with this team, and that will pay off as the season progresses for sure.
Second and 5 for Mazama. 8:40 to go in the fourth quarter. The Vikings lead 34-7. They're looking to just put a bow on this game. Second and 5. Van Gastel just draining the clock. Not quite under center yet. 8:23 and counting. Finally there. Ball is snapped. Van Gastel going to keep it himself. He's being chased by Northcutt and finally gets wrapped up. A gain of about 2 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd and 3 for Mazama.
We're seeing some new personnel for the Hornets. Colby Brennan making that tackle. Well done on the outside. Third down situation here.
Mazama so far tonight, 4 for 11. 5 for 11 this evening. On third down conversions, they've got a 3rd and 4 ahead of them. Coach Lease definitely proud of his running game this evening, as they've done it almost all on the ground tonight, and Gastel's only thrown the ball a handful of times all evening. He's under center. Handed off to Anderson once again, who finds the same hole right between the center and the right guard. This time it's good for a gain of 6 again, and a Mazama first down.
The Northcutt gang in there on that one, Owen and Garrett. And it's enough for a first down, though, for the Vikings.
First and 10 from the 15.
We're under 7 minutes here to play, and Henley now starting to substitute a few of their defensive players.
Get some varsity reps. You know, both of these teams relatively young. Time to get some of those other players in there. This one, another handoff up the gut for Mazama. On the carry was Anderson for about 4 yards. 7th play of the drive coming up for the Vikings, and 6.5 to go in the final period. Mazama leads 34-7.
That was Colby Brennan again. He's made a couple quick tackles. Good job coming into the game there.
Second down, and Mazama has looked good moving the sticks all night. They've got 17 first downs. And Henley looking to be trying to rush the edges, although the damage has been done up the middle. Van Gastel, another handoff to Anderson, and another gain of 4. Third down and short for Mazama.
Colby Scholes throwing his body into that tackle. Nicely done. And here's another chance for Henley to end this drive with a third down.
Mazama 50% on third down conversions tonight. They have converted 3 of 3 so far in this second half.
Mazama working the clock as you would want to.
A handoff along the outside, and good for a first down, but short of the goal line inside the 5 is Mazama.
Gailey took a pretty good hit from Tyler Harper there, but damage was done. He picked up the first down, and he's inside the 5.
First and goal, call it from the 4-yard line. 18 first downs tonight for Mazama. They've converted on 7 of 13 third downs. That was just one of them. Very good third down team, and continuing to run the football. They've also converted on 4 of 5 fourth down conversions, although now facing first and goal from the 4-yard line. 4.5 to go. The Vikings lead 34-7, and a timeout going to be taken by Coach Vic Lease. We'll take this one too with 4.5 to go in the final quarter. Mazama leads 34-7 on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 90 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
And we are back on 104.3 960 Sports, the MyBasin.com Game of the Week. Mazama leads 34-7 over the Henley Hornets, 4:22 to go in the final quarter. Mazama down inside the 5 at the 4. They are about to run their 8th play of this drive, and it's taken them about 6 minutes in total. Let's see, 5:53. That's how long this drive has been with 7 plays, and Mazama running clock trying to finish out this ball game. First and goal from the 4-yard line. And a flag is thrown before we resume play. And this one might be coming back. Actually, it'll be offsides against Mazama. Bring him back just a little bit. Will still be first and goal. And actually the offsides against Henley. It was signaled Mazama at first. In fact, it's Henley, so that puts them half the distance to the goal, so it'll be first and goal from the 2. Van Gastel is going to hand it off to Anderson, who gets into the end zone standing up. Mazama, another touchdown.
Mazama just hasn't had to deviate from their plan at all tonight. It's gone just as they hoped it would, and they haven't really had to try anything or adjust anything, especially to their offense.
And on to kick the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 41-7, Mazama. In this game, they are well in control. 4:18 left to go in the ball game, and Henley will get the ball back. But Mazama continuing to finish these games strong. And they will get away with this one with their first league win of the season with 4:18 left to go. We'll see if Henley decides to mix in a little bit of a different look on offense. Shaw Stork on the sideline right now, but still with his offensive coaches. He's got a football in hand. He'll likely head back out onto the field when the offense gets back out there.
Henley's shown good attitude in this game, never a sense of giving up or becoming discouraged. It just hasn't gone their way tonight. Mazama the better team on this particular evening, but still lots of good things coming up in the season for Henley.
The kick from Mazama is up. Is going to be fielded at the 5 by Smith. He takes it up past the 20. He gets to the 25, call it the 27 before being brought down. That is where Henley will start their drive with 4:12 to go in the final quarter. They trail 41-7.
Coach Pashy with a long talk to his quarterback, Shaw Stork, there on his way out to the field. I'm sure the coaches at this point are just trying to explain to the players that you can't put too much emphasis on this game. There's a lot of season to go. It's only Henley's first loss. The Skyline's taking 3 teams to the playoffs this year. So there's plenty to play for. And you sometimes need to remind these kids that as much as you wanted to win tonight,
there are other games to be played.
Absolutely, and it's okay.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Henley with the ball. Shaw Stork. He's got 2 backs in the backfield. He's going to drop back to pass. Pump fakes. Unleashes one down the sideline, and it falls incomplete. Intended target was Colton Smith. Just overthrew him by about a yard. Looked good from Shaw Stork, but put a little too much heat on that one.
Yeah, that was a good play. Colton had just a little bit of a gap between him and his defender. And we're just over 4 minutes left to play.
Mazama leads 41-7 in the 30th edition of the Southside Series. Mazama in control of the ball game. 2nd and 10 for Shaw Stork. He's got an empty backfield, takes the snap, feels pressure, tosses it over the middle, cut by Austin Fitz. Brings it up to the 45, now the 40, and a flag down after the end of the play. About a 30-yard reception for Austin Fitz, but there is a flag down.
Fitz has also emerged as one of the top receivers in the state. And he did a nice job going right up the seam to make that long grab.
Austin Fitz 14th in the state in receiving yards after that 30-yard reception, 195 yards on the year. And I was looking at my stats here. Kevin, did you see what the call happened against Mazama?
Might have been an illegal hit on that tackle to the head. Dangerous play, so we'll add on 15.
Clock running, 3:56 to go in the ball game. Henley 1st and 10 from the 25. Hornets 4 wide receivers and a running back. Shaw Stork takes the snap. He's rolling to his right. Thinks about throwing it. He's going for the end zone, and the pass incomplete. Intended target Colton Smith, and Colton Smith was thinking there might have been some pass interference, but a good, clean defensive play by Mazama.
Gunnar Mahon, I may be butchering his last name, but he made a nice play there. He really had to close quickly on that ball because it would have been a touchdown. He made a nice play to slap it away at the last second.
2nd and 10 for the Hornets. One wide receiver to the near side, 3 off to the left. Shaw Stork takes the snap, feels pressure, fires it over the middle, incomplete, brings up 3rd down. And a flag down in the backfield.
Yeah, Shaw had to hustle that because he was getting pressure, and there was a late hit by the Vikings.
Roughing the passer, against the Vikings.
Yeah, Stork had his receiver open, but he was having to hurry that throw. Another 1st down.
For Henley tonight, 5 first downs, 4 of them coming in this second half. And 1st and 10 from the 12. Shaw Stork waiting for the snap, and a flag is thrown. And it looks like this one might be coming against Henley. And it will. False start against the Hornets brings them back. It'll be 1st and 15.
Stork was trying to shift his offense a little bit. He saw something he didn't like on the defensive side. And we had a little player movement. We'll back him up 5 yards.
1st and 15 for Stork. Trip set up to the near side for the Hornets. 1 wide receiver off to the left. Stork drops back into the pocket, rolls off to his left side, is wrapped up. He breaks out of the sack and is finally brought down. A huge loss on the play. Shaw Stork sacked for the 4th time tonight, and that brings up 3rd and long.
Looked like Trace Horton on the tackle. Huge loss.
And it looks like that'll bring up 2nd down. My apologies. It'll be 2nd and about 20 to go, 25 yards to go. They're taking it from the 31. The yard to gain is the 3. So about 27 yards to the sticks. 2nd down coming up for the Hornets. 2 wide receivers to either side of Stork. It's Fitz and Smith to the near side, and Coach Stork going to call a timeout. A little bit of confusion from his wide receivers. Stork has got one more timeout this half with 2.5 to go in the 4th quarter. This ball game winding down It was Mazama's from the get. They've looked good throughout, and that's why they're 6th in the state. They got beat by a good Cascade team. They got beat by the #1 team in the state, Marshfield. They've played the toughest preseason, arguably in the whole state, and they showed up prepared tonight.
That's true. They have been tested, and they have played in some close games, so they got the most out of their non-league schedule. They really did. They are coming into Skyline play with a good momentum, and that's what you want.
Definitely, and as we take a look ahead for these Mazama Vikings, just real briefly, coming up after tonight's conclusion next week, Mazama has got North Valley to look forward to. The Knights, they're a sneaky team, so that'll be a good game to keep track of next week as well. Second and forever for the Henley Hornets. 2 wide receivers to either side of Stork. It'll be second and about 27 yards. Stork drops back into the pocket. Quick pass to the near side. Intended target was Austin Fitz, and incomplete. Third down coming up for the Hornets.
Hornets just kind of look out of sorts here. He had a number of receivers kind of in the same area. He kind of threw it between Sheen and Fitz. This will be 3rd and a lot.
3rd and 27. Stork takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Tolson Higgins, who bounces around. He's actually got some room before taking a big hit after a gain of about 10 yards. Tolson Higgins stopped in his tracks.
Gunnar Doles put the hammer on Tolson, but he popped right up after a pretty good gain.
Now an 11-yard gain on the play brings up 4th and we'll call it 17 for Henley. Yard to gain is the 3. They take it from the 20. On 4th down, Shaw Stork looking to convert. He takes the snap, rolling out to his left. Fires it to the end zone. Austin Fitz makes the catch, and a Henley touchdown.
What a great way to end the evening for the Hornets. Despite the loss, Austin caught that in the very back of the end zone on the near side. And there's a penalty on top of it. Another personal foul.
This time it is against Mazama, so the touchdown will stand, and it'll likely be applied to the kickoff, this personal foul, as we now await what looks to be a point after attempt. Henley going to try to kick the extra point here.
It's a very nice passing catch.
High snap. Brought down, Owen Sheen with the kick. It's good. 41-14 the score. Henley capping off an 8-play drive. It took them just over 2 minutes and 63 yards to be exact, capping it off with a 20-yard connection between Austin Fitz and Shaw Stork. Stork with his 10th touchdown of the season through the air.
Henley's offense looked much, much better in the second half. Not the result you want on the scoreboard, but you never want to go backwards. And I feel like Henley kind of got their rhythm back together on offense in the second half, and it will be a good something good to go into their next game with. A good finish tonight.
Definitely scoring 2 touchdowns in this second half, both of them through the air for Shaw Stork. He's been sacked 4 times tonight. He's felt pressure on every single time. He's had to roll out of the pocket, that time rolling all the way to his left and finding Fitz, just like you said. He snuck him in there in the very back corner of the end zone. Was a great catch by Fitz.
Henley's next opponent, they'll be at home again next week. Phoenix is coming to town, I believe.
And for Henley, that is the case. They're going to be playing Phoenix at home next week. The Pirates, sort of a sneaky team as well, counted out in the Skyline Conference for the past couple of years, but the Pirates are a young team. And Mazama's student section breaking out their phones. They've got the lights going. They know that they're about a minute 44 away from being 3-2 on the season. It's kind of a neat visual out there as there's a squib kick fielded at the 15 and tackled at the 15. That's where Mazama will start likely the final drive of the ball game at their own 15-yard line with a minute 38 to go. The Vikings lead 41-14.
Brendan Monteith handling that kickoff. And we'll probably just see a few up the middles here, and we'll call it an evening.
And some subs coming in for the Henley Hornets on their final drive of the season for Mazama. Not the season, rather the game. 1st and 10. It is from the 15-yard line. Mazama, their last drive, ending in 6. Took them about 6 minutes to do it and 8 plays. Mazama not necessarily going for points here. They are going to finish the game. There is 98 seconds to go in the final quarter. And it looks to be victory formation for the Mazama Vikings. Taking a knee. That will... Well, did they get the knee down? The clock hasn't started yet. It looks like the officials are waving for the clock to start.
I'm not sure what's going on here with the clock. There we go.
They did get the knee down, so.
Okay, there we go.
Minute 30 and counting. And Kevin, it's a tough night for Henley. They had a couple of key turnovers early, and Mazama snatched the game and the momentum early after those turnovers, and they hadn't looked back.
Yeah, and when you have some turnovers and mistakes, you kind of have to hope or force the other team into some mistakes. Mazama just didn't make them. They didn't turn the ball over. They controlled the ball. They controlled the clock. And they played a terrific game. The Vikings really did tonight.
And this is what you look for every week. If you're Coach Lease, they spend time practicing it, and another kneel and a knee taken. It'll be 3rd down. The clock is ticking. Mazama going to come away with this one with a 41-14 win. They'll improve to 3-2 on the season. Henley will take their first loss of the year. But you look at the grand scheme of things, you're still 4-1. It's only 1 loss. You only just started conference play. Still a lot of football to be played for the Henley Hornets. And Kevin, like you said, the Skyline Conference, they're sending 3 teams to the playoffs this year. And Hornets still definitely, without a doubt, in the mix to be one of those teams.
Sure. They have a great chance to be one of those 3 teams. And that's all you want to do, get into that postseason, and anything goes once you get there.
Well, the team's trotting off the field. That will do it for us this evening. The final score, 41-14. Mazama with the lead. We're going to take a break and come back as the final buzzer sounds tonight. We'll be right back with a post-game show on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The final score tonight, the Southside Series, Mazama in control of this one from the beginning, 41-14. And Kevin, we talked about it, a couple key turnovers at the beginning. Mazama played their brand of football and showing why they're a top team in the state tonight.
Yeah, if you're Henley, you have to realize you played a good team tonight, and there's really only a couple things you can do. You got to learn from it, and you want to improve. And those are the two things that the coaching staff will start on Monday, looking ahead to their game next week, and the three after that. We're just halfway through the season, so there's lots to improve upon, lots of football to play. And for Mazama, they can just try to keep their game plan going. This was a great blueprint for them tonight, and they executed it very, very well.
Mazama starting off tonight with a 7-play 4-minute touchdown drive, capping it off with a 38-yard connection between Brody Hubble and Tyson Van Gastel. They scored again late in that, early in the second quarter after a 15-play drive that went 91 yards. Mazama then turned the ball over on downs. Henley went 3 and out. Mazama cashed in 6 again after a 10-play drive that went about 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Henley did strike first in the third quarter with Owen Sheen catching an 11-yard touchdown. Mazama answered back with a Monteith touchdown after a 7-play drive going about 5 minutes. Van Gastel punched it in himself early in the fourth quarter for 1 yard, and Anderson again to get Mazama to 41 points with 4:12 to go in the final quarter. Henley did show some good things on offense tonight. Austin Fitz with a touchdown catch, as did Owen Sheen. And you look at the score, Henley really wasn't in this game through the final quarter, but they did play good on offense, and definitely some silver linings to look at. The passing game looked decent tonight, definitely better than it did against LaPine. Had a little bit of trouble moving the ball on the ground, but there are some silver linings for the Hornets tonight. Like you said, still a long season, Kevin.
Yeah, you just take what you can. They didn't play a very good second half last week. Henley did not, and they actually played a better second half tonight. So you're right about that. You just want to get better and look forward in your schedule to things to come.
Well, we're almost done with the show tonight. We're going to take a break, come back, and when we do, we'll wrap things up for you, give you a look at what kind of impact this game has around the state. That's coming up next on 104.3 and 60 Sports. Final score tonight, Mazama 41, Henley 14.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
It's okay, you had...
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 960 Sports. 41-14, the final tonight. Mazama taking the win. They're now 3-2 on the season. Henley now 4-1, but in terms of the Skyline Conference, Mazama now atop of the conference with that 1-0 record. Henley towards the bottom, and as we get results from around the state tonight, we're definitely the first game to finish up. This game moving by pretty quickly. Time of the game tonight, 2 hours and 13 minutes. That includes halftime. A very briskly moving game this evening. Take a look at how this might affect the top 10 poll. Mazama is ranked number 6. Henley is number 7 in the coaches poll. Mazama likely to jump up a few spots, and I still think we'll see Henley somewhere in that top 10 as we move throughout the season. Just taking a look at what both of these two teams have next, and as they are in the Basin, we do wish Mazama some good luck against the North Valley Knights next week. It's their homecoming game. Always nice to get a win against homecoming, on the homecoming game, rather. And for the Henley Hornets next week, we are at home against the Phoenix Pirates. So still some season left to be played. It's only one loss in the grand scheme of things for Henley. And, you take this one. It hurts. You take it on the chin. You move on. If you're Coach Stork, that's what you got to preach to the boys. Just move on. Get past this game. You got to be right back at it again next week.
That's right. You just have to learn from your mistakes and hopefully bring a better team to your game next week. And we just can't forget to mention that some teams didn't even get to play tonight. So
right.
You just don't know in these uncertain times if you even get a game. So we can just hope that all of our games fall into place. We're able to play them and have an atmosphere like we had tonight. It really was nice to see student sections full and fans all over the field, and it really was a good evening here in Klamath Falls.
It was a great night for Vikings fans as well. Their team beating Henley 41-14 tonight. That about does it for us tonight. Thank you for being here for the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Of course, you can watch an archived replay of this event and many others on MyBasin.com. MyBasin.com is your home for everything going on in the Klamath Basin, from news to sports, everything in between. Find it online, MyBasin.com. I'd like to thank head coach Vic Lease of the Mazama Vikings. He's also the athletic director over there, for working with the broadcast crew tonight. Also, the Henley Boosters, who are out here this evening selling some posters. They sold some hats. Thank you to the Booster Club for being out here as well. And thank you to Henley athletic director Jesse Hamilton for allowing us to cover his program, setting us nicely in the bleachers tonight. Got a bit chilly, but we made it work. So special thanks to the folks in Jesse Hamilton's staff making Henley Athletics sing. And, of course, those of you who joined us tonight, thanks for being part of the 30th edition of the Southside Series, a game in which Mazama won 41-14. For Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight and my partner Kevin Petrick, I am Josh Eldridge. Good night from Henley High School.